What's going on, everyone? Mets Talk with Hayden here. What's going on, everyone? I see we got the chat rolling out already. Can't complain about that. Just wanted to pop on, talk, give my thoughts about the Mets and Red Sox series. There is a link in the chat if anyone wants to pop in. I see we got a person already. But before we jump on that, I just wanted to briefly go over the Mets and Red Sox series. Don't want to talk about it too much because it was extremely cruciating and painful to watch. But overall, going into game one, we had David Peterson and Garrett Richards on the mound for Boston. Great performances by both pitchers. Unfortunately, Garrett Richards outpitched us, giving up 10 strikeouts, one of the first times in his major league career that he has had double-digit strikeouts. He got the win, 7 innings pitched, 7 hits, 1 run. Of course, it was earned. 10 strikeouts and 1 home run. We know that home run was a moonshot by Jeff McNeil. Hopefully that guy can get his power back. And then on the Mets bump, we had David Peterson, who got the L, sadly. 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, and 1 home run. Luckily, he was able to lower his ERA 1%. And then the bullpen somehow came in and did their job. The bullpen came in. We had Familia come in, Trevor May, and Miguel Castro. All those guys pitched an inning each. 6 strikeouts in total from all those guys. So I'm hoping overall our bullpen can look much, much better. And it is looking better. I think compared to 2019, it's looking better so far. Once we get Lugo back, that'll be great. And then on the Boston side, Garrett Richards, he had his command in the strike zone. Accuracy was great. Velocity was up there. And he outpitched us. It happens. Runners in scoring position was a huge issue. We left 4 on base, 1 for 3 with runners in scoring position. So that was difficult to see. Overall, extremely cruciating game. Not as bad as yesterday's game. Yesterday's game was Jacob deGrom against Nick Pivetta. I guess you could say it's too good to be true that deGrom's last start was historic, 15 strikeouts. Definitely too good to be true, sadly. And it was extremely painful to watch. deGrom, 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and 9 strikeouts. And crazy enough to say is this was not a good start for deGrom. I mean, for any ordinary pitcher, that'd be great. But deGrom, unfortunately, lowered his ERA from 0.31 to 0.51. So, unfortunately, that was unfortunate. But then the bullpen came in, and the bullpen also did their job. Loop, May, Diaz came in electric. Like I said, again, 6 strikeouts for those 3 guys combined, pitched 1 inning each. But yeah, the Mets bullpen looked great. Sadly, deGrom got the win. The only earned run was a double. I believe it was in the 2nd inning, which was very tough by Christian Vasquez, the Red Sox catcher. So that was extremely difficult to watch. Our bats were not there. Our bats were dead. The fact that we were only able to get 2 hits in this game. 2 hits. 1 hit from Alonso, base hit, and a base hit from McNeil. This was terrible to watch. Just words cannot even describe how triggered I am. Luckily, nothing was broken. None of my chair and my desk is fine. That's all that matters. But overall, extremely difficult game to watch. And just the fact that Jacob deGrom cannot get run support, it's terrible. It really is. I read something today that said Jacob deGrom officially, I think, got 3 losses already from having 1 run by an opposing team. So it's just terrible to see just how this went down. deGrom was elite, though. He got a little nervous in the beginning, as we saw, giving up that double and then the RBI double to Christian Vasquez. But the Mets bats were not there. It was completely dead. 1 lousy run. 1 lousy damn run. The Mets couldn't do that. It was really unfortunate. We couldn't get 1 stupid run. 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position and left 6 on base. Just absolutely terrible. But yeah, I mean, what else is there more to say? So we're going to have one of our great friends, Elias, pop right in. So I see he's getting ready. He has the Jets hat on for the NFL draft, but baseball's more important. What's going on?
No, I'm just kidding. Bro, I can't stay on too long. I need like a 5-minute rant, man.
Sure, go.
We scored nada against Nick Pivetta, who we've seen before because he used to be a Philly. We scored 1 run in the past 2 games against Garrett Richards and Nick Pivetta. If you told me, it's like Shane Bieber and Garrett Cole and, Trevor Bauer, like a good pitcher like that, it'd be like, yeah, that sucks. Like our offense still sucks. But Garrett Richards and Nick Pivetta. What the hell, man? Lindor looks lost. Dom Smith, oh my God, he looks terrible. The whole team looks awful right now, man. Pete Alonso, what the hell happened? He was playing really well. Now ice cold, strikes out every time. Freaking that ninth inning with Matt Barnes, everyone check swinging against that curveball, just falling for it. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely was an unfortunate game, like you said. And I mean, there really wasn't any good hitters. I'd like to say Nimmo did something. He lowered his batting average tremendously. I think he was able to keep the on-base streak. He got one walk out of everything else, grounded out, strikeout. Otherwise, I mean, Lindor's probably the biggest topic to talk about. I know when we look at Lindor, I think it was you or some other people said he doesn't strike out necessarily. He just grounds out a lot. And I think, this team, the bats need to wake up. I just think everyone has the mentality of 60 games, where in 60 games, yeah, every game matters. But we have 150 more games to go. But overall, I understand. I think series matter. Games, maybe 1-2 games in a series doesn't matter, but a series win, a series loss, that matters, especially if it's against a rival like the Phillies or the Braves. But overall, this is going to be a big question for the Mets. I know we saw in 2019, in 2019 was a really weird year. We started off the first general half, not so great. 5-10 games under 500 for the most.
The offense wasn't the issue, though. It was the bullpen that was abysmal.
Yeah, but luckily now it's good. And then, we saw after the All-Star game, we were not hitting. I don't know if you remember that series with the Pirates. We did not hit for jack. We didn't get a base hit, nothing. We were not hitting. And then just something popped up. I believe it was, I think we went to Philly, and our bats just woke up for the rest of the season. They woke up. Alonso was hitting bombs. McNeil, his power. Brandon Nimmo, just everything woke back. And I mean, there's so much more to say. I mean, people made the comparison to 2015. How did 2015 start off? I mean, we didn't really have many strong hitters, but what did we do? We went out there, we acquired Cespedes, we brought up Conforto, and those two guys really brought up this lineup. But the thing is, we have all these hitters, so who are we going to bring up?
Yep. I mean, like, I don't want to make excuses. Like, I don't really have anyone to blame, man. I don't have, it's true that since Rojas has been here, we can't hit with runners in scoring position. So I don't know if that's a thing with him. It might just be a damn coincidence. I don't know. I don't want to make excuses, but I'm not panicking yet. The season is not over.
Of course
but this is a big wake up that this team needs to start hitting, man, because we're getting lucky with our bullpen being as good as it's been, our rotation being as good as it's been, and how bad the rest of the division is. Because I still think we're in first place, and we're now sub 500. We're in third. Great. Who's in first?
Braves and Phillies. I believe both of those teams are at 500.
Like I've talked about this, like once we finally got to 500, we need to stay there. We need to get over it slightly and just stay around there. You can't just have one of these awful series where you get below 500 and there's no recovering. So, I mean,
of course, and I think this is expected. This team is going to be, they're going to be around a 500 team, whether it's a game below or a game above, I'll take it. I just think that, and everyone thinks, listen, we're not going to have 110 wins. I love that, but I don't think it's reasonable. There's going to be games like this throughout the season. I just think it's the fact that, this is how we're starting off. Our season really wasn't expected. Everyone was saying, oh, we're going to start off, we're going to win, we're going to have a 10-game winning streak. And, it's just, there's so many reasonings you could say. You could say the 2019 Nationals, the 2019 Mariners. Teams start off, they get hot. Right now, look at the Royals. Do you really think they're going to finish first place in the Central? Look at the Red Sox. Just everyone thinks.
Yeah, I believe in the Red Sox.
Okay, sure. The Red Sox want to make an argument for a wild card spot. We'll go with the wild card spot. Yeah. Just because the Red Sox, I think they have
the way they just played us. I mean, but they didn't even play that great. That's the thing. They only scored like 2 runs the first game, 1 run the second game.
Wait till they go, against more of a big lineup, the Red Sox. But, dialing back to the Mets, this was a very rough series, and it was too good to be true with DeGrom. He had a great outing last one, 15 strikeouts over his career high, historical, but unfortunately he couldn't get that again. And crazy enough to say, this wasn't one of his best starts.
Yeah, that's the craziest part.
Of course. But I think, there's a bright side to everything, and maybe that bright side could be the bullpen. As I stated before in the stream, our bullpen's looking great. Maybe once these 3 guys come back, the thing is, like, everyone's like injuries, but we don't have any injured guys that are sluggers. Carrasco, Syndergaard, they could help out with the pitching, but, pitching, they only do 50% of the job, where the hitters have to do the other portion. So the pitchers are doing their job. It's just the hitters aren't. So I think when it comes to the Mets, when the offense is hot, the defense is dead. When the defense is dead, the offense is, hot. So the Mets are very ambiguous. They choose what's going to work, what's not going to work. If we can get everything wrapped up, if we can get our 2019 bats, I don't want to say that.
Like our 2020 bats with runners not on base.
Yeah, here's what: 2020 bullpen, 2019 bats, and
2015 rotation.
2015 rotation, or even 2019 rotation, if you want to say.
Well, after the All-Star break, without Vargas.
We got Stroman, of course. So I'd accept that, and I think it's reasonable. But overall, this was a very tough game, very tough series overall. You and I watched. We watched the first game together. I don't.
Yeah, a little bit.
Think we watched the second.
We watched the first game, and then the second game. I watched
the second game with Mets fan, and he called it like 6 innings because he was just so upset. But overall, it was a very tough game to watch. Very tough game.
Hey man, off day, clear your mind, get back to work. I got one more question for when I head out. If you were in Citi Field right now, would you be booing Lindor?
I was booing him when I was home watching on my computer, even though that's different. Listen, with Lindor, people are upset. We signed him for over $300 million plus over a decade. I understand, and people are making the comparison to a guy like Carlos Beltran. Listen, it's not, or like Jason Bay, most importantly. Listen, I don't think he's going to be 205 for the rest of the year. I think, and I even projected, I even said when he comes to Citi Field for this first 2 weeks, he's going to struggle.
I said there's coming into the season, there's going to be a bit of an adjustment period. And like for me, I'm never going to tell anyone how to root, how to be a fan. I don't care. Do what you want. Personally, I think it's stupid to boo before he gets up, because what if you boo and then he hits a it's like, I thought you guys didn't like me. Like that's
exactly.
I'm all getting upset like when you're like, you hear the whole crowd going, "Oh no," and he like strikes out or ground outs for him. And I see a comment right now. Are you nervous with Lindor? No, he's had a 7+ year career of being phenomenal.
And listen, this is going to be it's going to take time. It's just I think we have to be patient. That's all we could do is patience is a virtue. And I just think it'll pay off eventually. He's going to hit. I understand it's a big city. Coming from Cleveland, Ohio to, New York, that's a whole adjustment, not even for a baseball person, just for anyone. He has to get used to this fan base, the media. And I think there's so many more questions that come about the Mets. And I think all we could do is just play it out, wait for these bats to get hot, and that's simply all we could do.
Yep. All right, man. I got to head out now. Appreciate you having me on. Any shameless plug here. Just dropped a new video today about what we do with Robinson Cano after the season. Please go check that out. Also tune into my live streams. I do a call-in show just like this. Would love to talk baseball with some of you guys. Hayden, appreciate you having me on, man. Have a good night.
Coming up.
LFGM. Let's go.
All righty. Please, if anyone else wants to join in, I pinned a link in the chat. I saw a couple people join, but they left because they weren't sure how long it would take. But please join. I'm curious to see your opinions. You can come on, ask me anything. Overall, this was a very, very tough series with Boston. And, I think, it comes to a point where what excuses are we going to make? Over the offseason, I was using the excuse. I made a lot of excuses over the offseason with maybe our bats and certain guys not slugging in scenarios and with the runners on scoring position. Some of the excuses I used was Chili Davis wasn't in the dugout and we didn't have a direct hold of him, or specifically the players. A lot of players like Alonso, McNeil, they all said that they would go to him mid-game and make adjustments with the bat, maybe how with their elbow or their stance or their knees and their leg kick, all that type of stuff. And well, now you have him back in the dugout, so that's one thing. The review play. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but due to the 2017 Astros cheating scandal, MLB temporarily banned video review play during the games in the dugout or anywhere in the stadium for the players to use in mid-games. It was banned last year. Now it's brought back. That helped a lot of guys. Alonso, if he swung out and missed, he'd see how the ball came to the plate. What did he do wrong? What could he have done mechanically different versus the pitcher? And unfortunately, that's back. Well, fortunately, I should say. But unfortunately, the players aren't using it. So we have Chili Davis back. We have the review play back, which all the players recommended. Both of that was a pro to them. So, what's the excuse now? I really don't know what the excuse is. It's a typical April for the Mets. I really don't know. Typically, we start off hot, and then we simply just struggle. So, it's hopefully maybe it's the other way around. Let's go Mets. Indeed, indeed. Hey, Hayden, what's going on? What's going on? Here's a question. Who have you most been impressed and disappointed with? It's a great question. Most impressed. I mean, most impressed, it's been tough. But most impressed in terms of offense, I've been a bit impressed with Pete. He's much more actually, no. Offense, I've been very impressed with Nimmo and Pete. Both of them were expected, but I'm kind of carrying that on. We look at Nimmo. He's very patient at the plate. This Boston series, I know he had some leg issues. He was benched the first game. Second game, he was fine. I noticed he was chasing the ball a little bit, being a free swinger. Not much of an issue, but I just think it's something to put in perspective and be cognizant about with Nimmo is, have him be patient at the plate, which he is. And then Alonso, who's much more patient at the plate. He's not being a free swinger as much. He's laying off those breaking pitches, those off-speed, just tangling off the plate pitches. He's not making ridiculous swings. He's taking his time, which could that result in less homers? Sure. But I'd rather, I'd rather him finish with a 260 batting average and 40 home runs than, 200 batting average and, 60 home runs or something like that. But that, that's a great question. So honestly, offensively, in terms of the bats, Nimmo and Alonso. In terms of pitching, I mean, DeGrom's always been electric, so I don't really want to use him because I've always been impressed with him. I guess Miguel Castro. He's been coming out of that bullpen unprecedented times, and he's been electric. His control is an issue, but I think, it has so much movement and rhythm from the releasement of his hand to the plate. It moves so much that the batters, they can't even tell where it's going to land. Even McCann has been difficulty telling where it's going to land. So Miguel Castro's been great. His slider, 96 miles per hour, gaining velocity. So he's been looking great. Overall, I got to go Castro. Very impressive in terms of the pitching. Disappointed, that's a tough thing to talk about. There's so many guys. I was going to say, sorry about this. There's so many guys on this team who are been very stressful. It's difficult to choose. I guess in terms of everyone standing out, probably one of the new acquisitions in James McCann. Everyone has been a little upset with his framing. They're saying that he's being, quote unquote, I don't want to say lazy, but he's been kind of, more relaxed at the plate. He's not getting up at the dirt. He's not jumping up there quickly. But the thing with McCann is that everyone chooses when they want to, make fun of McCann. When McCann threw out Trevor Story in the Colorado series to end the game, everyone, oh no, they were happy about that. They, we love McCann now. But when he strikes out and goes 0 for 3 and gives up an error, we don't like him. So, but overall, I understand. Catchers doesn't determine a World Series team. Yan Gomes, 2019 Nationals, 2017 Martin Maldonado. These catchers aren't the determination. Obviously, if they go out there, they could frame and they could help the pitcher get strikes rather than balls. That's all they have to do. But if they're just hitting's important. I want them to hit, but I'm not expecting them to be like Johnny Bench or Mike Piazza. So yeah, honestly, that's a great question, though. I appreciate it. If you guys want to call in, please do. I have the link below. I'll drop it once more. If you want to call in, I saw we got a ton of people before, but they kind of skedadded. Please, if you want to call back in, if not, whatever, feel free. Your opinion on the Mets Red Sox series, anything you want to ask, baseball, Mets. If you want to talk about another team, sure. But Mets is more my touche. Please. Click the link. You could show your face. You could shut off the camera like this, whatever works for you. So, yeah. Did you like the video? Oh, God. Nice intro. I appreciate it. What's going on? What's going on? What's good? What's going on, everyone? Go Amazins. Indeed, LFGM. It's not even DeGrom getting runs anymore. It's and then that's what's so interesting about DeGrom. I see we got a caller, so we're gonna hop right onto that. But before I hop onto the call, I just want to say the thing with DeGrom is that, during the press conference, DeGrom, who does he blame? He blames himself. He doesn't even blame the offense. He doesn't even blame the hitters, which is mind-boggling. He goes to the press conference and trashes himself, where he should be trashing the hitters, the offense. He goes to that press conference and say, "Well, I left a couple pitches over the plate. That's my fault." Is it, Jacob? Because you gave up one run. So I don't know. It's something to think about. But DeGrom, he deserves better than this. But we're gonna take our caller. What's going on? What's going on? Hello.
Doing good.
What's going on? So what'd you feel about this Mets Red Sox series?
I actually felt very, very confused, maybe angry, because I felt like maybe they're gonna get the sweep or the split, but they just got swept by the Red Sox. Now I will say there was some. I would say the defense was very good, but the offense was very questionable. Now it feels like, who do we trust now? Besides Alonso and maybe Davis, who else do we trust in the lineup?
I mean, yeah, of course. Listen, that's a very great point. Listen, the offense definitely will need to wake up. I would say Alonso and Davis have been very good with their bats. JD missed so far half of the game so far. I definitely would say we do have some good bats. Nimmo's looking good. Conforto and Lindor have been slumping, and those two guys are at precedented times, of course, because, Conforto has the contract extension talks, and Lindor, we just signed him. But definitely hopefully our bats will wake up, and I think we have powerful bats. They're just currently sleeping. And as you stated, Alonso and Nimmo are really the only guys showing them. Maybe Jeff McNeil. But overall, it's been very tough, though. I mean, what are your takes? Do you think we can come out of this? How long do you think it'll take? What do you think needs to be done?
So I think maybe the next series, which is Philadelphia, can actually get them back on track. It can actually because during I think it's 3 or 4 game series against the Phillies, they can kind of step up the offense, and they can be way more reliable, and they can win more series, because the more series they win, the more chances they could be to be a very dangerous team and a very scary team, which who knows to not only make the postseason, but also to probably maybe beat the Dodgers. Now I'm probably exaggerating, but maybe they could beat the Dodgers. Who knows?
Yeah, listen, I mean, series wins are a big thing. It's one thing if you lose a game out of 3 games, but I think series wins are important. We have some great games coming up. The Phillies, Cardinals, and D-backs. Those are 3 great teams. Well, to an extent, great teams. The Cardinals are hot. The Phillies are definitely giving us a run for our money. But the only thing I think we could do is wait. Overall, listen, it is very stressful, not seeing our guys hit. We all came into the season thinking, our bats are going to be great. And so far it's not paying off. But I think it'll be soon. I really do. I really doubt Lindor is going to go 205 for the rest of the season. I just think time and patience is all we really got to do. But otherwise, there's just only so much more we could ask for from this team. We know pitching's 50%, hitting's the other 50%. Pitchers, they're doing their job. They're doing their 50%, but the hitters aren't yet. But otherwise, man, I want to appreciate you for joining on the stream. Do you have any more final thoughts?
Yeah, about the bullpen, it's been pretty good. I actually was surprised. Last year, the bullpen was the biggest problem. Probably starting pitching as well, but the bullpen has been very surprising, as well as David Peterson, who's been pretty much kind of underrated, because not everybody's talking about him. He's kind of is solid, but if he can start getting a little more, if we can see more performance, he could be very effective during seasons later on in the future.
Of course, yeah. I mean, in regards to 2019, the bullpen really struggled then. And then in the shortened season of 2020, obviously our pitching rotation with Porcello and Waka was really nothing. But But hopefully we can get that on track. We can get the bullpen, and the bullpen's been looking good. Miguel Castro, the few situations Gazelman and Familia has been put in, they've been looking good. But overall, the bullpen's very important. I express it as, we have so many guys who can only go so many innings. David Peterson, he's likely not going to go, 7 innings. He'll probably only pitch up to the summer. Till the All-Star game, and then they'll probably put up Yamamoto or someone. He's only going to pitch so many innings. So I think the bullpen's very important, especially when you have, that fifth starter as a question mark still, and David Peterson only going so many innings in a game. But of course, I love the bullpen. I love our bullpen so far to an extent. Familia has been so far good. Same for Gazelman. But of course, we love Diaz. He's been proving himself. Castro May's been a little rocky, but so far is starting to get up there. But I think our bullpen will definitely be good for this season, as well as our pitching. Pitching's very important. But yeah, I appreciate you, man, for coming out, though. Great questions. Great talk. So any more final thoughts?
Yeah, I can actually say the starting pitching is very good, but let's just say, but the fifth rotation is out and Carrasco's coming back, and then after the summer when Peterson gets taken out, Syndergaard will be coming back, and so Syndergaard hasn't been pitching since 2020, actually since 2019.
Correct.
So
correct.
if Syndergaard becomes solid and Carrasco can be a very effective pitcher, and the offense is good and the bullpen is good, this team is a very, very dangerous team in the postseason and in the season that a lot of teams need to be careful of.
Absolutely. Once we get guys like Syndergaard and Carrasco back, and obviously, Carrasco and Lugo are more the knowledgeable guys on when they're going to return. It's probably safe they're going to return probably in 3-4 weeks from now, mid-May to the end of May. And once Lugo and Carrasco come back, Carrasco's in that rotation, Lugo's in that bullpen, that'll be very important. Syndergaard, unfortunately, we're still shaky with him. We don't have a necessarily updated timeline. The Mets have been very good with informing us how our injuries are. I believe Syndergaard is down here in sunny Florida, doing what he's needing to do, and we see him throwing off the pitch and mound. And he's looking good. Listen, it's gonna definitely have to take some more time. But I want to appreciate you coming out, man. If you want to link anything, if you have a channel or social media you want to say out.
Not really, not actually yet.
Not yet. All right.
In consideration on it.
Yeah, listen. If you want to make a channel. No, of course. If you want to make a channel, let me know. I'll subscribe. So, peace out, man. LFGM.
Peace out.
All right. So, great talk from there. Great talk from one of our loyal friends. If anyone else wants to call in, please do. Show your face. Don't have to. Whatever works. Talk some baseball, Mets, whatever you want to talk about. Ask me a question. Give your thoughts. Whatever you want to do. Please call in. I know we had a ton of people calling before, but they all left after 2 seconds. But yeah, great questions there. Hey, what's going on? Go Bills. Thoughts on McCann's framing? Yeah, I addressed it before. I'll go briefly over it again. He hasn't been doing. Nito's definitely been doing a better job framing. In terms of when he was facing up against DeGrom. Last night, we did get some generous calls from the other umpire before he did get injured. There were at least 4 or 5 calls that were borderline ball strike zone, and they were considered a ball, but he called it a strike, the home plate umpire, and there were at least 4, 5, 6 of those. So McCann's framing worked on that. If he could be consistent with it, that's all we could ask for. I'll just give a basic, vague answer, of course, but not as expected as I was told that he had in Chicago. Yeah, so if anyone wants to join in, please just click the link below. Talk baseball, Mets, whatever. Is that a mini fridge behind you? Oh, no, that's right there. No, that's a little dresser. There's a ton of baseball cards in there. That's cool. You got one in your room. McCann reeks. Yeah, it probably isn't doing too good. Yeah, please, if anyone wants to join in, please, if you wouldn't mind, guys, share the channel. We're approaching 300 subscribers very soon. We're gaining very well. Starting to do more streams and be more active on the channel. That's all we could ask for. But yeah, overall, listen, I think just looking at this team, we just have to be patient. Patience is a virtue. That's all we could do is just wait. And like I said, everyone has the mentality 60 games. Listen, if it was a 60-game season, or if it was August 3rd, I'd probably be panicking and nervous. But we have so many more games to go. We have no idea what's going to happen. We could have someone get called up. We could have a trade right now. It's just baseball's so unpredictable. In tomorrow's start, who knows? Maybe Stroman will throw a no-hitter. You heard it here first. Who knows? Maybe Alonso will go 4 for 4 with 3 home runs. Baseball's just so unpredictable. We have no idea what's going to happen. But I think with this team, we just have to be positive. But I would say our division's definitely giving us a run for our money. I will say that. Currently, as we stated, the Braves are in first place at 500. Second place, we have the Phillies, 1 game under 500, 12 and 13. And then we have the New York Mets, 1 game under 500 as well, 9 and 10. So, it's definitely close. And then below them, obviously, is the Marlins and Nationals. Marlins, 2 games under 500, as well as the Nationals. So, obviously, listen, I mean, I think it's very unlikely that teams like the Royals are going to finish first place. Right now, they're 15 and 8. It's a hot start. Teams get like that. Taking a look, the Yankees, 4th place team, 11 and 14. I believe they lost today. Do we really, as much as I would love them to be 4th place, I don't think they're a 4th place team for the season. Boston right now, they're 16 and 9. I think they're a wild card contender potentially, but it's so early. Look how the Mariners started off in 2019. They were 13 and 3, and they finished at least 20 games under 500. So just teams change in a matter of a week. One game could be a turning point. A player can get injured, someone could get fired, a different mindset. It's just so unpredictable. What's going on, man? Please call in if you would like. There's a link in the chat. I'll drop it again if anyone wants to call in. We have 2 great callers so far. Hopefully we can get some more, talk about some baseball, Mets, or whatever's really on people's minds. Unfortunately, there was no Mets Weekly today. We are going to postpone that. People had some stuff to do, and we decided to postpone it. But, please drop some comments, questions if you want to join the stream, whatever works for you guys. But, yeah, overall, getting into the future, the Mets, and just the NL East, I guess, generally, it's definitely looking tight. Listen, it was unfortunate that this is how the series played out against Boston. We had a great series against the division rival in the Nationals, and then we played against Boston. And listen, Boston, their bats are great. I was very interested. I was very intrigued to see how Rojas would approach. The heavy hitters in Boston. I wasn't sure if he would go for more a defensive approach, if he would take out Smith and put in Pilar, or take out J.D. Davis and put in Guillorme. I was very intrigued to see if he would do that. He did not. Which if he did, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe that could have turned out differently at the game. Obviously, I'd take out Moore over Pilar. Pilar has been doing nothing. Offensively, he hasn't been anything, and he's supposed to be a 9th inning, 8th inning defensive guy. He hasn't been doing anything either. So at this rate, I take Almora, and Almora has shown himself. He made that web gem catch, literally saving a potentially 3-run homer, if not 2 runs. But overall, there's just so many questions that I have with this team. I think time is most important. Most importantly, the first thing. But I think overall, is this going to be an issue? I know there's talks about Chili Davis, and he's kind of on the hot seat right now. As I stated, from what I've heard, a lot of the players liked him. But if they're not hitting, you like a guy, but he's not doing his job, because if you're not learning and you're not hitting. But overall, this has been very tough game. Series against Boston. We're going against Philly, and the Phillies have been looking hot too. They definitely had an interesting series against the Cardinals, very close. They did lose the series, though, 2-1, but it was close. It really was. The Phillies, I think that second game had issues with runners in scoring position. Bryce Harper did get hit with a 97-mile-per-hour fastball to the face. So luckily he's okay, though, as much as I don't like him as a player and to an extent the person. Well, I like him as a person. Player is another story. But, listen, I'm glad he's fine. He's recovering well. But the Phillies have been going on to an extent to roll. But I think their bullpen surprisingly been holding up. So honestly, it's just going to be time with the NL East. And I think the NL East is definitely one of the best divisions in baseball. I mean, as of right now, all of them are very intriguing. I mean, look at the AL East. I mean, out of all of them, I mean, I got to say, as unexpected, I probably got to say the NL West is pretty unexpected. I didn't see the Giants being tied with the Dodgers going into May. AL West is kind of expected. I kind of expected it. Central's a bit surprised. Didn't think the Royals would be so high. NL East is kind of expected. I really don't know. NL East is kind of expected. I don't know. But yeah, please, if anyone wants to call in, please do. Links in the chat. Ask me some questions. Talk baseball. I know we had a couple people on before. We had two great Mets fans, gave some great opinions. We had a ton of people in the waiting room, but they left. I'm guessing they got bored, which it's fine. But yeah, otherwise, we're probably going to wrap the stream up soon. I just wanted to pop on. There was no Mets Weekly, so I figured I'd give my thoughts on the Mets and Red Sox series. And, what could we do? Let me know in the comments, guys. What do you think the Mets should do? Should we, do you think there needs to be some type of firings? Do you think there needs to be a new strategy, a mental game? I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, do you think it's these stops and starts? Unfortunately, we have no game today, as stated, and then we have a game tomorrow in Philly. I guess we'll touch on that if you want, just because it's probably going to be pretty big, the Mets and Phillies. Taking a look-see at the Mets and Phillies. All right, Azariz, you can join if you want. Take your time. Yeah, I know everyone's eating dinner. I eat dinner pretty early. I'm not gonna lie, like 5 o'clock. But yeah. So please, everyone, if you want to join, I know Zariz said he'll join. Another great Mets fan. I believe he was live last night in some other channels. So we'll get our third Mets fan of the day to join. But overall, I mean, looking into the Mets Phillies preview, it's definitely going to be interesting. We have Marcus Stroman against Chase Anderson, who gave us a run for our money. So far right now, Chase Anderson is 0 for 4 with the Phillies when Anderson started. It says that he carried a respectable 4.15 ERA through his first 3 starts. Unfortunately, he didn't have the best outing this Sunday in Colorado against the Rockies. He didn't even pitch more than 5 innings. He struggled. So far, he's been an iffy pitcher, 0-3 on the season, above 6 ERA, just approaching 13 strikeouts. And on the Mets bump, we have Marcus Stroman, who had a difficulty last outing against the Nationals. He lost command of the strike zone super early. He just lost his confidence just overall in the first inning. Command of the strike zone, accuracy, play virtue, it fell apart for him. He couldn't get it. And there were definitely some defensive issues behind Stroman when he was pitching. But overall, we'll see. He's definitely a ground ball pitcher. So maybe if he can get some softer contact, I know that's what I'm reading here. If he can get some softer base hit contact, which that's going to be a more question. Then for Rojas at third base, do you put in Davis or Guillorme? Are you thinking defense or are you thinking offense when it comes to third base? So these are so many questions that we have for the Mets. This is just going to be a huge issue that I have for the Mets. I mean, Rojas, let me know what you guys think in the comments. In terms of third base, against Philly, do we start Guillorme, your defensive guy, or are you going for your offensive guy? Because the Mets offense has been struggling. And I know we had the stops and starts, and we had no game today. So, that's going to be difficult. But Stroman so far has been looking good. So that's in terms of game 1. Game 2, which is on Saturday at 6:05, odd time, but I'll take it. Taijuan Walker against the former Met Zach Wheeler. Against the former Met Zach Wheeler. I know everyone's going to be triggered about that. Walker won his first game, as stated, against the Nationals last series. Walker had a nice performance. Command of the strike zone was there. Velocity was there. He went a fair amount of innings. I believe he had I think he almost approached 100 pitches. Gorgeous 7-inning shutout. He was very efficient in that series, and I think that's what we'll hope to see from Philly. In terms of Zach Wheeler, he is 2-2 on the season, a little over 3 ERA, and he has been drawing comparisons to guys like DeGrom, Nola, Scherzer, Wainwright for dominating. How his dominating performance was this Monday in St. Louis, and I'm guessing he's gonna hope to repeat that for against the Mets. So Taijuan Walker, Zach Wheeler should be a great matchup right there. That's at 6:00, odd time, but I don't mind the 6:00 games, honestly. And then in terms of Sunday, which we are playing Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN, and I'm sure we all know how we do on live air. We do terrible on ESPN baseball. So that'll be at 7:08, of course, and that'll be David Peterson against Zach Eflin. And I can only imagine how Peterson's going to do on live TV or national TV. Peterson, everyone's saying he's been having his issues, but I think it's the defense not backing him up. He's going to face the Phillies for the 3rd time in his past 5 starts, which may be an issue for his ability to adjust, but it probably will be an issue for him to adjust. But, I mean, look at last season where we only played divisional rivals. So DeGrom pretty much made all the starts last year against the Marlins. Peterson pretty much made all of his starts against the Phillies and Nationals. But Peterson definitely should be fired up. His strikeout ratio 2 starts ago was great. Last one wasn't super. He had a fair outing. And then we got Zach Eflin, who don't have much to say about him. He's an average pitcher. He destroyed us last time, so hopefully we could snap him back. But that's the quick summary of the Mets and Phillies recap, series preview. I mean, so definitely going to be interesting to see. I mean, in terms of predictions, I mean, let me know. What do you guys think? Do you think we'll take 2 out of 1? Do you think we'll get the series swept against us? Do you think we'll sweep the series? Boo, Wheeler, we got already. Yeah, I mean, I can care less for Zach Wheeler. But yeah, definitely some questions to ask. A ton of questions to ask for this series. And I think the series is going to be very important. Can the hitting go on? Everyone's saying, I see a comment from our friend Matt, bring back Terry Collins or Bobby Valentine. At this rate, I'd bring back Mickey Callaway. I mean, in terms of Mickey Callaway, just to talk about him vaguely and briefly, he wasn't horrific. At least he stood up for his players. He didn't so much mess up with the lineup. It was more the bullpen and who he put in at times. And he kind of was like the opposite of Luis Rojas, and he was like lefty, righty, who cares? And he just came to the point where it meant nothing to him, where it kind of interfered with the game. But Callaway, he wasn't horrific. He wasn't terrible with the lineups and his starters. It's just with the bullpen, he was terrible with it, as I stated. Terry Collins, I really didn't mind him. I mean, he got us to a World Series. Same for Bobby Valentine. I think Bobby Valentine, I think it's their age. I mean, they're very old. But, hey, listen, if guys like Dusty Baker and Tony La Russa are managing, I don't see why those guys can't. I just hit a perfect home run with Matt Chapman. Um, 2019, when the Mets went on a hot streak, the team had a lot of good energy and was happy. Listen, it was different managerial status then, and it was tough. It was tough, definitely tough. 2019 was a crazy year. We started off kind of dead. Our bats were there, but our bullpen was bad. Our pitching was average. And then the All-Star game came. A couple weeks after the All-Star game, we were doing nothing. Our pitching was giving up runs. Our bats were dead. Runners in scoring position, same issue. And then I think it was that series in Philly, and we just woke up. And our pitching was average. Our bullpen struggled, which made us miss the playoffs, and our offense really woke up. So I definitely understand the energy I think some of that has to do with fans in the ballpark. The fans fire up the players, and then the players get fired up by the fans cheering. I heard just today that Bill de Blasio announced that Citi Field would potentially be opening up to 100% capacity, I think in July. So I mean, opinions on it doesn't matter, but I think it'll be nice to have fans back in the ballpark at a safely manner. And I know the Braves announced that at Truist Park they will have 100% capacity, I think, starting next week. So it's interesting to see fans back in the ballpark. That'll be great. But we have another caller in from our friend, so let's see what he has to say. Oh, whoops! I think I removed him. My bad. Please call back, dude. Apologies about that. I think I accidentally kicked you out. Whoops! My bad. What's going on, man? LFGM, what's happening?
Yo, can you say something again? I think something's up with the audio.
What's going on? Can you hear me?
Yo, bro, when I hear you, it's like a bunch of like cracking. I don't know. Check the chat. And anyone else? Can you hear me fine?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
Not really. I mean, I can hear you, but like I can. It's like you're cutting out. It's like you're electrocuting. It's really weird.
Oh, I hope not.
One second. Let me restart this app. I'll be right back.
Sure. So we had some technical issues there for a bit. If you guys could hear us in the chat, please let us know. But yeah, in terms of 2019, I definitely see the energy that's not there. I mean, I think fans has a big thing to do with that. Fans in the ballpark definitely could have a big thing to do with that. But I think there's just so much more to 2019. And I mean, we have we have better guys, I think. We have Lindor, we have McCann, and these guys who are hyped. So I definitely could see the energy that is not being given right now. I think guys are kind of up, like, I don't know, I'll say guys definitely don't seem they're happy themselves. I mean, I don't really see Lindor smiling a whole lot. And I mean, why would he? He's batting .205 and not doing well. So we're going to have to wait and see with that. Try again. All right, man.
All right. It's way better. I can hear you, man. It's all good.
All right. So please share your thoughts on this Mets and Red Sox series upcoming. Whatever you got, man.
Okay. Well, as far as my thoughts, I think there are a lot of positives we can take out of this, and I think that this Philly series we're going to tomorrow, I'm fairly excited for it because I think that this could be the series that we really break out with our bats, or even just get into a rhythm. And if we can pick up 2 wins or maybe even a sweep, I think that's going to really boost our confidence. That would give us a 3-game lead over the Phillies, who just lost today. So if the Braves lose, which they might, they're down 2-0. Then this would be the most open division possible. So we just got to really take advantage of this next series. The bullpen has looked amazing. I before the season started, I wasn't that worried about the bullpen. And you got to think about this. Seth Lugo is going to be back. And you know what? Yo, I'm going to switch devices. I'll be right back, man.
You're good. So obviously I do have to agree with Zuriz there. The bullpen is looking great. I was kind of iffy and miffy, whatever synonym you want to use for questionable. I was kind of, questionable with the bullpen. I was more like 51% confident, 49% questionable. We saw how electric the bullpen was in 2020 in that shortened season, I should say. I was just really questionable. I mean, I was positive with May, which I'm skeptical with May. I mean, now all the guys that I was skeptical about are kind of showing me off. I was questionable with Castro. He's been electric so far. Diaz has been electric so far. I was questionable with him. So those 2 guys really showed me. Loop, he's been doing his job so far. May, I believe Hildenberger got sent down. Steven Tarpley, he's not MLB ready. He's a minor league pitcher, if anything. Gazelman, who would have thought Robert Gazelman so far? I believe he hasn't even given up on a run yet. I mean, in terms of Robert Gazelman, a couple weeks ago, I was running around saying he's a minor league pitcher and that's the most he'll be. But luckily, he's doing his job.
Hey man, now you got my camera. How you doing?
We got the setup. So continue what we're saying with the bullpen.
I've been very impressed. Listen, after I'm opening the other stream just to see the chat.
You're good, man.
So prior to this, like after the first game of the season, I was freaking out. And I was embarrassed because I was a fan of the bullpen. I was defending the bullpen quite a bit. And I'm a huge believer in Edwin Diaz. If you're in the Mets fans only stream, or in the Mets fans only Discord, you will see me rave about Edwin Diaz all the time. So, and it's really my trust in him was giving me that confidence in this bullpen. But I really have been just so impressed by this bullpen. And we don't have Lugo back. We can hope Lucchesi will get in there. David Peterson will probably have to go there too. And look, I don't think David Peterson's really a reliever, and so that's a bit of an issue. But
yeah. I mean, looking into this rotation, there's going to be so many questions. I mean, we're going to have Syndergaard back by July. Mm-hmm. We're going to have Carrasco back in almost a month, maybe less. So, I mean, you'll have – I mean, Lucchesi's a bullpen pitcher, no doubt.
Yeah, for
sure. The thing with it is, you want a lefty in the rotation. I've said it a million times. I'll say it for the millionth and one time. You want a lefty in the rotation. I think one guy's going to go. I don't think it'll be Peterson. I think it's likely it could be. If he's not, if he's going to, if he's going to have a struggle or a question, it could be. But overall, I think in terms of the righties in the rotation, one of them will potentially I could definitely, in the offseason, I could see a guy like Stroman walking potentially. If he could be the Cy Young guy, which he's claiming to be and showing so far, sure, I could see him staying. But I just think there's so many questions with this rotation generally, and we have so much depth, and I love depth. Overall, depth is important. It's something we need. I'm tired of having Corey Oswalt being called up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man, I'd say we got a lot of questions, but these are good questions. They're not like concerns. These are good things because no matter what option we take, even if we keep Peterson in this rotation, after a while, we're still in a really good spot. I'm a fan of David Peterson. I think his start against the Cubs was wasted by JD. His stat line does not indicate. He was having a great game until J.D. Davis made that terrible, just awful error. So David Peterson, in my eyes, has been very good this season. I don't think his ERA at all shows how good he's really been. But the big question is, what do we do with Walker if we keep?
Yeah,
Peterson in the rotation.
I'm just talking about Peterson and then dialing to Walker. Peterson, I'll agree with you. He's been looking great. It was that defense in Philly.
The Cubs.
Chicago, yes. On the West against Philadelphia. Historical too, though. Chicago against the Cubs. It was the domino effect. Ground ball to Davis to turn the double play. Inning over. Nope, dropped it. Oh, no. Third inning of the game. Third inning of the 2 games that he's been back. And then the domino effect came. Base hit, home run, base hit, and then that really destroyed Peter's confidence. I will say after that, his command of the strike zone gradually started to become an issue, but I definitely think he could have gotten out of that with the defense, and I think that's a question. We have guys like ground ball pitchers, Stroman, Lucchesi, Peterson. So, they're to an extent at times light contact ground ball hitters. So J.D. Davis, when those guys start, Davis, Guillorme, question for Rojas, but
Guillorme better be starting tomorrow, I swear.
Stroman's starting tomorrow.
Oh no, Guillorme better be starting at third tomorrow.
That'll be a question for Rojas.
This is a must-win game.
In Philly, yeah. I think it'd be nice to be 500 again.
Yeah.
My concern if we lose it, it's Stroman against Chase Anderson.
We if we do not score off Chase Anderson.
That's going to be – hey, we didn't score against Nick Pivetta and a bunch of bullpen pitchers, Adam Ottavino.
It's so appalling. It's like –
One lousy run. All Memo needed to do was crack the ball over the fence. That's really all we needed. We couldn't even get a hit.
You got to realize, too, that at least we're struggling now and we're still pretty much 500. And we are pretty much tied for first place. We are – let me check.
Yeah, we're third place under a game. In terms of standing, I believe the
Phillies and Mets are tied for second. If the Braves loss, it would be a 3-way tie for first. So yeah, okay. So this Philly series is going to be so important because if we can win this series, then we would have a nice lead. I would really love to sweep it.
12-10.
Yeah, we got really great rotation going on, but
I think it's reasonable. If the bats could stay off, we had a day off. I mean, I understand why don't they play like an exhibition game or something when there's no, if you want to like have like Stephen Tarpley or one of the prospects come up and do some, pitching, have one of your pitching prospects play
yeah, and then watch all the batters just pop off.
Hey, listen, if it
Build
gets
their confidence.
If it gets the bats going, I can care less this one. They're not starting in the game, the pitchers. It's just an exposition game. So if you want to, call like Matt Allen from, Brooklyn, if you want to put him at City Field, today when there's no game, give some BP to Lindor, Alonso, go ahead. And I think, and not even Matt Allen, if you want to have a trainer go out there, do some BP or something to keep the bats going and their rhythm going rather than sitting in their apartment, making TikToks with Pete Alonso or something like that, which I don't think they do that. I think they work out. But I think just get into the rhythm of swinging that bat. And I think it's good to, we always start off, on a extremely high case. Everyone was saying, oh, we're going to start off 10-0, 20-3.
That would not be a good thing in my eyes. We've seen that happen before, and
what happened. And I mean, it's such early.
You want to see the flaws happen early, so you can find the source of them and pinpoint them and resolve them when you have 40 games left. So I think this is the perfect time for us to be having these issues and listen, remember, I'm pretty sure in 2019, in the first half of 2019, I don't really remember, but was it our pitching that kept losing us games?
In 2019, it was more it was difficult. 2019, the bats were kind of there, but we kind of had like Keon Broxton, Yormo Heredia. We kind of had like the nobody bench guys that were kind of fielding for us. It was a mixture of everything. I'd say the bullpen was a big issue.
Oh, yeah. Horrible.
We had like guys like Carlos Gomez and all those veteran crusty guys who were somehow up, and guys like McNeil and all the great legends were on the bench, not playing.
Bro, imagine if we had traded McNeil in that Diaz-Cano trade. Oh, my God. It's truly frightening to think about it,
And it's crazy to think about with that is that we could have got so much more just for what the heck's the outfielder's name?
Kelenic.
Jared Kelenic. We could have got more just for him. We could have got Diaz, Cano, and maybe one or two more guys. But I think the only way to see how that turned out is see how he plays. Jared Kelenic could be a hyped up prospect, come in and be terrible his first 2-3 years.
Yeah.
Break out his third, fourth, or he could just be an overrated guy and doesn't do well. So all we could do is wait and see. But I think it'd be a more precedented need now with Jared Kelenic is because he's MLB ready. It's just Mariners service neglect. They don't want to bring him up because of money. And that you could put him in center field. You could put Nimmo in left, keep Conforto in right, and maybe put Dom in a trade package.
I've been thinking about a Dom trade and with no DH. With no DH, Dom is unplayable in outfield.
He practically is. He's kind of the reason we lost the first game, I think, because of that double and because JD Martinez was sweeping from second to third to home. And if that was a guy like Conforto's arm or Cespedes' arm, you're out at the plate 100%. But he has no arm. He was slow to get in that high chopper. You see him. He can't read the blind side of a ball. He's like, where is it? Oh, it went over my head. And then he goes to get the ball. His arm is weak. He practically is.
He's a noodle.
Brett Gardner has a better arm than him.
Yeah, let me check his baseball savant. I want to see how fast he really is.
Not even fast, but he doesn't have a good arm. He doesn't have a cannon of an arm. His accuracy is bad. So he throws it in, and Kike Hernandez already scored. But if that was like Cespedes or Conforto or a strong outfielder, he would have been out. Smith, I mean, I just think if the DH were to come, sure. But the thing is, I don't think he could be the DH because I mean I'd rather Davis as the DH. But then I mean I'll say one thing: Alonso is not the DH.
I agree. I totally. Alonso's a Gold Glover. He's having a Gold Glove season.
If you checked out my defensive Alonso video, you know the vibes. But
yeah, I saw that was a great video.
Appreciate it. Alonso even said, quote him, I have worked too hard to come where I am to just use the bat. So he can play first base. So far, he's proving it. He's putting in the effort. I made a video on that. Please, everyone, check it out.
Check it out.
Uploaded 2-3 days ago. Reese even said it was good. So you know it's good.
It was a great video.
Yeah.
And I used to call Pete Alonso overrated. I'm sorry. I used to say that. I was wrong, chat.
Oh, I think you did say that.
Up until a month ago. Look, my mindset there was, I just thought that besides hitting home runs, he was kind of nothing. But I'm seeing his defensive improvements. I feel like I'm learning more about baseball as we go on, recently, so that I can read statistics now more and get a more accurate idea of how good a player is. Because I would usually just go with the eye, and so when it was like, Pete Alonso, he's in a slump, strikeout. Like he's a very predictable player, but I definitely would not call him overrated anymore because I've seen his defensive improvements. And when this guy is hot, there's no better hitter on the Mets when this guy is hot. I would not call Alonso our best hitter on the team still. I think Conforto is probably better overall hitter than him. I know Conforto's struggling, but in the past couple of games, Conforto seems to be really finding himself. And I prefer that kind of hitter who can will get more, hit a higher average or get on base a little more. I know Pete has a really good eye, but I think Conforto is the more pure overall better hitter, especially when Conforto's hot. He is so damn good.
Yeah, I mean, it depends what you want. You know, if you want, slugging, power, home run, Alonso all the way. But if I want basic bloopers, maybe McNeil, maybe opposite field, Conforto, sure. It really depends on what type of production you want from the bat. But overall, I probably agree. Hopefully, Conforto can come out of his shell. But I think there's so many issues with this team right now. I was gonna say something before, but I forgot. But
by the way, Cubs score. It's 3-0 Cubs against the Braves.
Good score, yeah. Whatchamacallit? Anthony Rizzo for Cy Young, right?
Did he pitch the other night?
He did, and he struck out Freddie Freeman.
Damn. I saw on ESPN they were like having a lot of fun when he tagged him out. Did you see that video? They were mic'd up and trying to tag him out in a pickle. And he was like, Freddie!
I did see that, and they were mic'd, and that's what I love when they're – and then Mike Trout was mic'd up for Correa, and they're talking about, Call of Duty. I like that. MLB really needs to do more of this mic'd up stuff. Just get the game out more. And sadly, I think the Mets play Sunday night baseball.
Oh, shit. Yeah. That Gary, Keith, and Ron are not doing that game.
Putting that aside, the Mets are terrible on national TV baseball.
Let's change that. Let's change it.
I think it'd be a great time, but we'll
4-0 Cubs, by the way.
We'll probably hear McNeil curse on live TV. Everyone.
Luis, I see you, man. I was wrong. At least I admit when I'm wrong. I'm still not a fan of James McCann, though. Okay, so.
Yeah, I mean, listen. Like I said, I don't know if you heard it before. In terms of catcher isn't the biggest thing. I think looking at terms of the catcher is that, catcher, I more want them to go out there, frame, do their defensive job. I'm not expecting Mike Piazza, Johnny Bench, JT Realmuto, hit home runs, all that stuff. I'm more concerned with their defense. If they can get the call for strikes, if they can tag out the runner, if they could throw runners out if they steal, which they do less now, of course. But overall, I mean, offensively, he hasn't really been doing anything.
And I don't even care if he does not much offensively, McCann. I don't need McCann to be JT Realmuto at the plate. I just want him to do just a better job at framing pitches. And that's the main thing. If James McCann can – because in 2020, I think he was in the 88th percentile in framing. up from the 12th in 2019. But that is a small sample size. He could have gotten lucky. He could have been having a good 2 months because he hit 7 home runs in like 30 games. And and maybe his confidence was higher. I've seen McCann can make a good frame every once in a while, but that's the problem. Like Mets fans says a lot. You know there's a problem when every time your catcher makes a good frame, you have to point that out. Like Tomas Nido, throughout the entire night, he is making elite framing plays, and he is giving us a lot of strikes that James McCann, I think, would get us deeper into account than we need to. And I think that becomes a problem. And so I don't care about McCann's offense right now. I think I wasn't concerned about that at all. And even James McCann get it 230 all year. But if he gets better at framing, we know he's got the arm. If he can catch the ball, like on opening night, like, look, see, boom, I caught it, caught the hand sanitizer. If he can do that, then he can be a really good option for us and just a cheaper version of JT Realmuto defensively, because he'll never be Realmuto defensively. But if he can be just good, I would be super happy. But I don't think he has been that besides his arm. So.
Yeah, I mean, listen, people like him and then they don't like him.
Like every player in the entire
in Colorado threw out Trevor Story. Oh, he's great. I love him. Next day he goes over for screw you, bum.
Yeah. I mean,
do I think Nito's better than him? I don't know. Do we give Nito more chances?
Absolutely.
If we have guys like Stroman up who are more ground ball pitchers and he could frame better, sure. But do I think he is the full-time starter? No. If you want to give him maybe 1 or 2 extra starts weekly, bi-weekly as he would, go ahead. And like I said, it's good. It's so early in the season with McCann. We'll just have to wait and see. Patience is really my biggest thing. I know it's vague, but it's really all we can generally do.
I think there's potential.
Look at the Mets team. The talent's there. The history of these guys, the talent's there. Alonso has history. McNeil has history. Nimmo has history. Lindor has history. Carrasco, DeGrom, Stroman, Thor.
These are players with reputations.
If you're right, if Diaz if the bullpen could continue to stay strong, if our bats wake up, let's say we scored 3 runs in every single game.
We should win. We should win the division.
All right. I mean, let's say we started off the game 3-0. Let's say first inning we came up and we had 3 runs just given to us. We could probably win with that. Give or take, we'd give up a run or 2, but we would probably win with that. Our pitching's been great, but as I said, pitching's 50%. The hitting's the other 50%. I mean, I know people are already talking about firing Chili Davis.
Yeah, you can see in the chat.
I don't know how much about the guy to give an opinion. I know he was a good baseball player. Maybe not so much a good hitting coach. I mean, I know he was with the Cubs in 2018. I believe he was with the Red Sox during their World Series run. So
was he really? Which one?
In his favor. I think he was there like 2016 to 2018, 2019-ish. But yeah.
You could attribute like the uptick in offense to the juice ball even. I mean,
that is one thing I do want to address but one quick thing, and then I went with that. I mean, the players like Chili Davis. Alonso said he liked him. So if the players like him, I mean, I unless they're just saying it's a lie, of course. But, I mean, how bad could the guy be if the players like him? But yeah, I think he could be doing his job, and maybe the players are doing their job. But with the juice ball, it's definitely a big thing. We saw so many balls that off the crack of the bat looked like they were gone. With Conforto, he had at least 2 gorgeous hits that literally went like that in the air, and I thought they were gone. Nope. Oh, just on the warning track. Alonso, first game, Alonso had a ball deep hit to right field on the warning track. Juke caught to end the game.
We would have won game 1 with the
2019 3-run home run right there. So I think the juice balls definitely has a thing to do with it. Do I think it'll destroy our season? No, but I think probably with a regular non-juice, non-dented ball, we could probably have 5-6 extra home runs on this.
I mean, yeah, I definitely think I definitely am not blaming the juice ball, but I'm saying maybe the reason Chili Davis, if he is a fraud, you might want to say.
Okay.
If maybe the juice ball was just really helping out our hitters and not Chili. I mean, look, the players love that ghost in the dugout, who happens to be our manager. So
He's a ghost.
he is a ghost. Like, when's the last time you've seen him? I mean, I cannot believe he got ejected from the game. That was beautiful. That's the highlight of the
Not
season.
seen him the last couple days. I don't know what
ghost. Like, really?
he is a ghost.
He's gotta stop-
I haven't really seen him. I mean, I think the last we saw of him was when he got ejected.
Yeah.
Philly. I mean, otherwise, I haven't really seen him much. I mean, we see Jeremy Hefner on the pitching mound a lot, and that's another thing too. Is, I mean, how can you get hyped? The Phillies players, they're probably hyped now. Joe Girardi got tossed, so that's gonna fire the players up. Where, I mean, Joe Girardi, I mean, he stands up for his players, no doubt.
Absolutely.
and
We
you're
should
right.
have gotten him. Like, really, we should have. Like, who else was on the market? I don't want Beltran back. We are not.
Really?
We are not a team that's gonna involve ourselves with cheaters. And I think that's the culture that the
Leading
team.
aside, I mean, Cora has a job, Hinch has a job.
Yeah, but what exactly did Cora do? I mean,
Cora was more the one. He was kind of like the person that started it. He was with the Astros in 2017 as like one of the coaches or something, and he kind of started it. He kind of recommended it, and then Hinch kind of just said, "Okay, sure."
I mean, the Red Sox were just so damn good.
It really comes down to Alex Cora rather than Hinch. And then Cora left the Astros in 2017, became the Red Sox manager, and kept the trash cans with him.
Really?
Yes.
Wait,
I mean,
that happened? I did not know that about the trash cans with Boston.
I don't know if it was trash cans, but maybe cheating or cameras or whatever it was.
I mean, yeah, but all we know, no one did it to the level Houston did. We know that.
Yeah, I mean, I think, to my knowledge, the Red Sox didn't do it during the World Series or playoffs. I think the Red Sox did it like a couple times throughout the season, where the Astros were more notorious. You know, they did it in the playoffs. They have quote-unquote tattoos right by their heart or whatever it was. You know,
I mean, even
you hear the.
Oh yeah, you can literally hear that in the Houston. But like, here's the thing: I don't think there's any way the Astros win 2017 without their cheating, and they're not winning Game 5 without all those whistles in the crowd.
I mean, listen, 2020. You know, the Astros they showed themselves. They were one game away from the World Series. Their guys are good. I mean, their offense is great. Bregman, Correa. A lot of those guys are on the market potentially. Correa may leave. I know Correa has expressed he doesn't care for Houston anymore.
Oh, he's leaving. He's so leaving.
But they have some great guys. Miles Straw's pretty potential. He has potential. Kyle Tucker has potential. We know they lost Josh Reddick. I believe he's with the D-backs in the minor league system. But Bregman's MVP candidate still. I haven't really seen much on Altuve because I know they're currently out for COVID-related reasonings and health precautions. But Altuve, Correa, Bregman, I mean, as much as people hate them, they're still a solid core. They're pitching. Christian Javier, third in Rookie of the Year. He has potential. You know, we know that the fine wine Justin Verlander is currently out. He has some potential when he comes back, maybe.
Verlander is probably going to be done soon, though.
Verlander, yeah, he's old and he has Tommy John.
Yeah. Yeah, Tommy John.
Yeah, he did. That's why he's out now.
I'm such
I
just wasn't really paying attention, I guess.
That's fine. Whatever. It was follow the Mets, so that's all that matters. But
I would always love baseball, but like I wouldn't passionately follow every team, you know.
Yeah, whatever.
I think it sounds familiar now that you tell me, but
yeah, and there's a ton of great resources for baseball. You know, I don't watch every single thing of every single game.
Yeah.
You know, I can't tell you every single man on the D-backs roster, but I could tell you, you know, maybe key player. We have a comment that I want to go over. Where will Correa sign? I mean, there's so many great shortstops on
absolutely
potentially. Baez. Well, not so much free agents, more trade possibilities. You know, one of them is already taken care of, Lindor. You know, we have Baez. We have Story.
The best shortstop in baseball.
Trevor Story.
Lindor.
Oh, Lindor.
I don't look when Lindor wakes up. I think that is going to put a spark in the rest of the offense. That this is our franchise. Besides DeGrom, this is our franchise hitter. and defender. This is the player we are spending $341 million. This guy is going to lead
Absolutely.
us. He's our franchise player. This guy is our leader. And this, I think his leadership and when he finds himself is going to lift the rest of the offense up. I have us winning the division still, and I always had us winning the division because I believe in this rotation and our bullpen. And I believe in our hitters to find themselves who, for years, I've seen them show up in big moments. And I feel really I'm confident in this team, and I really do think this could be a very special year for the Mets. And
I think
I do think we need a new manager, but because like if you look at a team like the Nationals, they had veterans. They were a team. I feel like the Mets are a team, but that only feels like that off the field. Off the field, these guys have the best chemistry, and you can tell these guys have each other's back. But on the field, it feels a little bit uneven. At times, when the Mets are good, they are just the most united, awesome baseball team. When the Mets are not so good, they're a mess. With the Nationals, whether they were winning or losing in the playoffs, they were a team that just by feeling the atmosphere, they had leaders, they had veterans, and they were just a damn good baseball team. And they didn't have much egos. They were here to play ball. They were underdogs, but they were a united team with great chemistry, and they had veterans. And I think we got to make a trade for some veterans. They don't even have to be in our starting lineup. I think we need to get some like when we got Kelly Johnson and Juan Uribe in 2015. What we need to do is
definitely I can understand that. I mean, we have the bats currently. So it's more, do we hold off and see what these guys could do? And I think it's definitely a potential. I mean, maybe make a big splash. I mean, there's so many questions. People were asking me in my last stream, trade deadline. And, it's so difficult in talking about new acquisitions because in 2 weeks from now, a player could be injured. Knock on wood, fingers crossed, please don't. A player could be injured. A player could underperform. A player could break out on the Mets or any baseball team.
Miguel Castro would be my pick for the breakout so far.
Miguel Castro, and he's been looking like it.
With that control, if Miguel Castro can maintain his command.
Yeah, I mean, Castro goes up there. He, like you said, his control isn't great, but the thing is, it maneuvers around the plate. The movement from the releasing of his tip of his fingers to the catcher's mitt, the movement, it goes like, ooh, and it's just crazy. And even McCann and Nito is like, wait, where's it? Oh, in the dirt. They could do it. But Castro is definitely a guy. So many Mets fans. I know a Mets fan. I don't know if you know him. A lot of people in the Mets fans only community even agree. And in the Discord, I'm sure, as you know, we're high on Castro. And I was like, whatever. He needs to get command of that strike zone. Everyone will just sit there, take the walk. But he's been proving me wrong. But I think there's so many questions in terms of the trade deadline. I've been saying, who do we get? Well, we don't know what the issue is. I mean, there's so many shortstops right now. I mean, we're not going to get a new shortstop, obviously, but currently right now, in terms of shortstops that will be on the market and potential trades, Trevor Story, Corey Seager, Carlos Correa, and potentially Javier Baez. And I know we said that Freddie Freeman, he has not did any contract extensions with.
That's suspicious. Like a team that's been so loyal to him, and a team that's obviously a really great baseball team.
And then there's so many pitchers. I mean, a fair amount of pitchers.
Seager's gonna sign back. Like we don't even.
I mean, everyone's saying Yankees, and I mean,
Yankees are not getting Corey Seager.
He's not a good defensive guy, but I mean, talking in terms of the Mets, I'd say our biggest concern is Conforto. I mean, Conforto supposedly is an easy top 30 hitter in the league so far. He's on.
I think we'll get Conforto back.
I
definitely think we will.
I hope so. I mean, he's one of the 4 guys that are left on this team from 2015, besides Familia, DeGrom, and Syndergaard.
You know what makes even less sense about Familia? Like, we've seen how he plays in the playoffs, blowing save after save or blowing hold after hold. And so, what the hell was Brody thinking? Like truly, when we sign him back.
I
Like,
think
it doesn't make any sense. Like this dude is look, Familia has great stuff. Just his command is all over the place.
bring back Frazier.
Yeah. Todd Frazier. Todd Frazier can be that veteran we have in the dugout every night. Like the bench piece. Like if you want to play, if there's an injury or if you need to
He's
pitch
a free swinger. He's with Pittsburgh. Even the Pirates don't even want him. He's gonna retire soon, just like Daniel Murphy or whatever. I think Frazier is. He had a good run. He's one of those players that like played with like 20 different teams throughout his career. He'll be one of those Hall of Fame ballot guys who are on it for 10 years, don't get it elected in. But that was weird. Chirinos and Frazier. That was a cheap. That was the last. That was the Wilpons' last ridiculous move.
Which one?
What?
Not getting Murphy. What was their last ridiculous move?
Wait, what?
Wait, what did you say was their last ridiculous move? I blanked out.
Getting Chirinos and Frazier. That was like the Wilpons' last silly move.
I
They're
mean, there are so many bad moves, like especially from Brody. But Brody was not all horrible. I mean, he has made. I mean, there are pieces we have on this team that are really nice to have that he brought here.
Absolutely.
Look, even though I believe Diaz is an elite reliever, it's the damage done in 2019 and also what we got that we have Cano in that trade. Really, I would rather have Kelenic now or maybe get a better trade.
We could have got so much more. We could have got. I mean, the Mariners have one of the best farm systems in the league. We could have gave up just Kelenic and got Diaz, Cano, probably another prospect or two that are close to MLB ready. We could have got so much more for that.
What are we going to do about Cano next year? Like, what are we going to do?
I know our friend Big Apple Baseball Banter. I think he uploaded a video on that. If you guys want to check that out, I really think. I mean, I'd say the best thing to do is, I mean, kick him to the curb, say, screw you, don't cheat. What does he do? File a grievance? Honestly, you're just give him his money. Give him his money. I don't think Steve Cohen cares. I'd give him his money or give him a discount because he didn't do anything. He cheated.
We got to negotiate something. We can't.
I'd say, listen, Robbie, you cheated. You made the Mets offseason look to an extent bad. You were one reason.
That was a good thing. His suspension is a blessing in disguise. I mean, we got him back at second base. We don't have to pay him. Those are good things.
Yeah. And I think there's just so much more to that. I mean, I think the best thing to do with the Cano is either just dump the contract, say, screw you, Robbie, you cheated. Why don't you get anything? File a grievance, sue us, do whatever you want. Or if you just want to take the safe route, just give him his money and say, go sign as a DH with the credit team. Where I don't think anyone's going to sign him. It's like
no one's going to trade for him either. No one. Look, he had a really good 2020. I mean,
team like the Pirates, but like once a team that starts to go bad down the season, like the Pirates, something, I could see them maybe wanting him. Maybe a team that wants a DH. I know Cespedes is still on the market somehow.
Cespedes is done.
Yeah, it's likely he'll retire.
The way he exited us, for the way what Cespedes has done for our team, like in his highest moments, was really incredible. So to see the way he went out with this organization is honestly kind of just sad.
And I mean, I was speaking with some people, and they were making the argument: was Cespedes' career with the Mets a success, or was it by the Wilpons? And I think overall, I think 2015, 2016 it was good, but then once he was on freaking fighting that bull in Texas.
How the fuck did that happen?
And they sign contracts that they won't ride a motorcycle or fight animals or anything ridiculous like that. And he broke it, so that was another thing. And then we're playing the Braves. Oh, guys, I'm just gonna go MIA. You know, you'll probably all think I'm dead. Jose Fernandez 2.0.
What was he thinking?
He just showed up. I honestly thought he was dead. I thought he was dead, kidnapped, or had COVID.
Wilson Ramos got kidnapped once.
Really? When?
Yeah,
like,
he did. Wilson Ramos got kidnapped.
You know the story on that, or not really?
Like 9 years ago, he got Louis. Baez and Lindor are best friends, and Baez is a great defender put alongside Lindor. I don't want Baez. What about you?
Baez can play second base. I mean, if he's going to be this free swinger and get the golden sombrero and strike out, probably not. I mean, I prefer McNeil at second. I don't mind Alonso, McNeil, and Lindor that first, second, short. Third base is my biggest question mark. I'm a big Matt Chapman fan. I'm extremely
I want him.
of getting Matt Chapman. All I do is Matt Chapman, Matt Chapman, Matt Chapman. I have him on my fantasy. I have his jersey. I have an ace hat. I have his freaking card right here. I love
Dom Smith, Mauricio, take him. Give me Matt Chapman.
I honestly give up Mauricio just because it's likely he's going to be a third baseman, and we already have Mark Ventinos and Brett Beatty.
And what's Matt Chapman? Who cares?
I know, but keep Brett Beatty, of course, and Ventinos.
Oh, yeah.
So I definitely wouldn't mind giving up Dom Smith
and Mauricio.
And maybe, I think that's really all we'll get. I mean, if you want to throw in another guy and maybe the A's give up like a pitching prospect or something like that, sure, like Pook or something like that, AJ Pook. I wouldn't mind like Ramon Laureano, honestly, as a left fielder. I mean, if you want to focus on the outfield instead of infield, if you want to get Ramon Laureano, I wouldn't mind him. We have so many great trading partners, though, and it's great. Baez playing second. Yeah, I mean, I prefer McNeil. Well, if Baez could be an MVP, all-star MVP guy, do it. If he could be 2019 Baez, 2016 Baez, here's the pen signed. But as of right now, he's not showing us that.
And he's a shortstop too. Like he's not going to want to play.
He's not like Chris Bryant playing right field, which was interesting because I saw that and I was like, what is this dude doing? But yeah, I think it's going to be an issue with this team. But I'm fine with Alonso at first. I'm fine with everyone where they are. The only people I'm concerned with is Smith and Davis.
Yeah.
Center field, I'm fine. Right field, I'm fine. First, second, short, I'm fine. Catcher, I'm fine as of right now. And pitcher is pitcher. Really just left field and third, which were two things I expressed during the whole offseason. Davis is very ambiguous. We saw the 2 games with Boston. He had good defense. And then, maybe in Chicago where it was cold.
I mean, look, even Lindor made a couple terrible throws in Chicago. I mean, maybe it was
weather. I mean, listen, I'm a Floridian, so I'm a former New Yorker, so I can know a thing or two about weather. But yeah, I definitely could see how playing baseball in the cold, from my experience, it's very difficult. It can be very difficult, but I think we'll have to wait and see. I think there's so many issues with this team going ahead in terms of left field and third base. Otherwise, I think we're fine. I'm not really concerned with the defense. I'm hoping Lindor at shortstop will help Davis out. But
I think he has.
Yeah, I mean, left field was kind of the L for the Red Sox game 1 because of that double. Oh no, for game 2 because of that double, and he couldn't throw him out. Where if that was a guy like Kiermaier or Gallo or whoever with a cannon of an arm, or not even a cannon of an arm, but if that was Conforto or an average outfielder who is an everyday outfielder, he would have been stopped at third or thrown out at home. But Dom Smith will be an issue. I'm in favor of trading Dom Smith. I mean,
Me too.
If we can get him for really anything, I mean, if you want to trade Dom Smith, just because I don't know where you could put him. If we had 2 DHs, sure, he could be one of the 2 DHs. But, he's not going to play first. If there's going to be DH, I'd rather Davis as DH and Guillorme at third. I just don't see any questioning I don't see any, not so much hope, but I don't see any reasoning for Smith at left field. Defensively, we've seen it. He sits there and he dives for the ball and it lands like 10 feet from him. Simply, he does not talk to shortstop, third baseman, or center field with the ball. He just walks up, no, I got it, or waves. He just goes up, runs to it. Oh, damn it. You caught it. He has no communication skills, terrible with legwork and reading the ball.
Yeah, I would be in favor of DHing Dom for pretty much those reasons. I think Lindor being right next to JD is going to help him, and I think JD has a really strong arm, but I think JD could get better at third base, but considering the flaws we already have in the outfield, I think it is much more important that we DH Dom Smith because he's in the 20th percentile in speed. He's just terrible out there. He's unplayable. And I think JD has maybe the stuff JD has done is what JD has done at third has
causes more damage for the errors he's made. But I think over a long season, I think having Dom Smith in left field is too much of a weakness to more of a weakness than JD, because he's your outfielder has to be fast too. You can't. Your outfielder needs to be able to get to balls quickly. Whenever Dom like slides for a baseball,
He's not like
catching it.
And I mean, talking about Nimmo, he's been so far so good. I mean, I was concerned with him during spring training because he was playing literally on the warning track. He was playing so far out, and we saw that spring training game where the ball was hit, practically a home run, and he robbed it. He took 2 steps and he was on the warning track. So Nimmo will be a concern because, if someone hits a shallow blooper into center field, like double if that was Trey Turner or someone with an amount of speed. But Nimmo has been proving me positively so far defensively. His communication skills are great. His leg work is better. I'm guessing during spring training, he took a ton of pop-ups, high choppers, whatever in center field, and somehow was working with his leg work and communication skills. And then we addressed Conforto at right field. No really concerns for him, honestly. His arm's great.
I did a horrible error in like the first pitch of a game the other day, but
oh yeah, when it bounced off his glove or something.
What happened?
See you, Matt. Yeah, listen, whatever works for this team, though. But we'll probably wrap up the stream in a bit, though. We had a great attendance with some great people, of course. Of course, our loyal fans, Reese joined for at least a quarter of it. We had Elias, and then we had another person, I didn't catch their name, join, gave some great commentary and great thoughts. But, this will definitely be an issue going ahead.
And I think we're going to be fine as a team, too.
Listen, we're not going to, things always get worse before they get better. I don't know if that pertains to baseball, football, soccer, basketball, whatever. But from my experience and just knowledge, I mean, even playing, my baseball team goes in slumps. And, it always gets a lot worse, and then it just gets better. The hitting will break out, the pitching will. I think once we get the run support, we're in Philly. We're playing in some cold weather temperatures, so that could have something to do with it. But I think we'll get on a rhythm. I was hoping Coors Field, Colorado would wake us up. It really didn't. But I don't know why we would play in Colorado and Chicago in April in back-to-back series. That was kind of dumb, whoever planned that.
We haven't even played the Braves.
Yeah, we should be playing the Marlins or something right here in Florida, sunny Florida.
The Marlins scare me whenever we play them. I know they're not that
Alcantara is always a net killer. Trevor Rogers has been looking good. And at least it's tight. But I really got to stay firm with the Braves, Mets. I may say Phillies at third, Nationals, Marlins. The Phillies have been looking good. If their bullpen can maintain how they are, maybe.
Wait, can you start from the top again? So who do you have at first?
I said Braves. I really think the Braves are a first-place team. I mean, once Soroka comes back, Fried's on the IL. Once he comes back, maybe he could help out.
Fried's looked horrible so far.
I just think their offense is way too strong. The Braves, they can give up 3 runs every inning. Their offense is just Acuna, Ozuna, Freeman. Their offense is unbelievable. I really got to go Braves.
That's totally fair, man.
Braves clinched the division. Mets, second wild card.
Third
is really close. I mean, third, you can make an argument for Nationals, Marlins, or Phillies, but I guess as of today, as of 8:43 Eastern Standard Time on April 29th, I got to go Philly. Philly's showing me something. Their offense is there to an extent. Their bullpen isn't as bad. Their pitching is holding up. Fourth place, I guess I got to go Nationals. Their pitching is dead. Strasburg is out. Scherzer's been slumping. Joe Ross, Friedel, okay, whatever. They're not really anything. I mean, the only bright side, I guess, is really Trey Turner, Juan Soto, and I mean, if you want slugging, I guess maybe Kyle Schwarber. And then I guess fifth place, I guess the Marlins, but I think they'll be very close between fourth and fifth. The Marlins are definitely getting up there, but yeah, it's going to be close, this division. I definitely will think it be. I think we're going to come on these streams frustrated. I'm going to come on here. I mean, if you watch the Mets fans only stream,
Oh, I do, man.
punching my table, throwing my hat on the bed, kicking
The
my
reaction in the first game was the funniest thing.
calling
ever.
out like a clock. Yeah.
Like, thinking back on the first game, I honestly just laugh about it. Like it's just kind of just typical Mets, you know. But like we're pretty we know everything's gonna be all right. But like it's kind of it really can be frustrating. It's moments like that that really capture what being a Mets fan can be like. But as for my division predictions, I'm gonna go first Mets. I still think I really believe in this team. I think the Braves could win it. I think it'll be very close, but I really think that our improved bullpen and our rotation, which is the best in baseball when healthy, just saying. I don't trust Kershaw in the postseason. I think Bauer is overrated.
That was last year. Okay, so wait, repeat that again. Start over.
Yeah, I'm going to go Mets first because of our rotation.
Mhm.
And our bullpen is improved. And the talent that this lineup has, I think, will show itself. And we are going to get hot at the perfect time. And the trade deadline, I think, will be big for us. I'm going to go Mets 1. I'm going to go Braves 2. And I think they will get the second wild card spot
Okay.
to the Padres. Because I think the Braves have – their rotation's okay, I guess. Their bullpen's okay. They have a really amazing offense. But I think that baseball is a game about pitching. And if the Mets have Taijuan Walker as their fifth starter, who has a 2.12 ERA right now,
I like that.
like how do you not win the division, you know? So third, I'm going to go Marlins. And I say that because the Marlins have a nice young core.
Alcantara, Rogers, potentially Sanchez. I respect that.
Yeah, and the Phillies have a terrible bullpen. The Phillies are a team of names, I'd say. People call me a Phillies fan because I love Bryce Harper.
I love Matt Chapman. Doesn't mean I'm an A's fan.
Exactly. I love Real Muto. I love Bryce Harper. I hate the Phillies, but Bryce Harper to me is
Chapman, Olsen, and Berkeley. So call me an A's fan.
Yeah, okay, A's. No, Marlins fan, because remember one of those streams you were wearing a Marlins hat. But I'm gonna go Marlins 3 because I think the Phillies have such a bad bullpen, such a bad rotation. Besides Wheeler and
That's fair.
They're gonna lose games because of their bullpen and rotation. I'm gonna go. So that would be 4 Phillies, and I'm gonna go 5 Nationals. I really think the Nationals are pretty awful. It's pretty disappointing to see such a wonderful World Series team have to struggle this much now, but maybe that's I think you can kind of compare it to our 2015 World Series appearance team. We were a team made of veterans, and these people are on the decline, and when they reach a hot point, you can't trust them to do that a whole year later where they might be 34. And so I think the Nationals, I think it's time to rebuild. I think Juan Soto could be a great piece to start it off, but I'm not sure if Juan Soto will sign an extension.
I think he's likely to be next. But
the Nationals are going to be pretty bad for a while, it seems.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Those were some great thoughts, man. I'm probably gonna wrap up the stream here.
Yeah, man. I got some work to do.
Yeah, of course, dude. Do what you gotta do, man.
LFGM, man.
LFGM, thank you for coming on. Definitely have to do this again. I'm gonna try
man. Love to.
More of these. LFGM, man.
LFGM, man. Take care, man. LFGM.
All right, so great talk from my friend Zariz there. Loyal fan in the YouTube, all the channels, Discord, social media, great. Please check him out if you can on a social media, whatever. But we're probably gonna call the stream here. Hour and 42 minutes. We had great attendance. I think we had a high of at least 13 at one point. Great talk. We had Elias. We had another person, I didn't catch their name. Great thoughts though. And then Zariz. 3 great Mets fans gave some great thoughts. I figured I'd do this because we weren't doing streams on the other channels tonight. Figured I'd pop on for a bit. I started it when it was light and it's dark out now. So we were very productive. I know the draft is going on in NFL, but baseball is more important to me than football, of course. Baseball is my number one and always will be. So I figured I'd come and give my thoughts. But yeah, we had a great stream. But in terms of this Phillies game, tomorrow the Mets play the Philadelphia Phillies at Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia with Marcus Stroman and Chase Anderson on the bump at 7:05 tomorrow. So I think that'll be a good game. I unfortunately will not be able to watch it. I'll be able to watch it at work, but I will not be streaming or anything. I'm going to try to do more of these streams live, but I have a weird superstition that whenever I stream the games that they don't do well. But yeah, I want to thank you all very much for coming. Great stream. Great thoughts from everyone. If you guys have any questions that you want to drop in the comment section, I'll read them quickly. I'll answer them briefly. But yeah, that's my thoughts on everything with the Mets and Red Sox, with the defense, with everything. Overall, I think it's going to be something for this team. It's going to be a ride. And it's going to be a long season. There's going to be our times where, we struggle. There's going to be times where we have great games. It's going to be a ride. It really is. It really is. And I even said, I just think everyone had the mentality. Steve Cohen, new ownership, best shortstop in the league, one of the great catchers, sluggers, all-stars, and everyone thought we'd be 20-3, which isn't, I think it's going to be a great season. I'm hoping. It's just getting started. It's not 60 games, but I see chat starting to die down. But we had a great stream. I think at one point we had a top of 13. I want to thank you all very much for coming in. Please, baseball fans, let me know in the comments. Message me. Please follow me on Twitter, Mets Hayden. I'll comment that below. Mets Hayden. Please follow me on Twitter. I sometimes put my game reactions in or talk baseball, whatever you guys want to do. Otherwise, great stream, great thoughts on the Mets and Red Sox, upcoming Mets and Phillies. 3 great people joined. We spoke about everything pretty much in one stream. So I want to thank you all very much for coming. Till next time, baseball fans. See ya. LFGM.